Lucas Dolan.
But hopefully
Here. T. Corbin Conrad. Stephen Lett. Yeah. Okay.
But it's like last minute, she's like, oh.
I'm here, Alex Blisco. Jeremiah.
Present.
Jenny. Jane Pareda. Rachel Marzine. Melissa Heim.
Here.
Greg Bueno. Oh, he's Kyle Kwame.
Here.
Kimberly Tran.
Here.
Nathan Rock.
Here.
Dan Molitor. Here. Victoria Barassi. Oh, she says she's late. Rachel Usgard.
Here.
Lawtel.
Here.
Amina Mose.
Here.
Evelyn Pecos.
Here.
Monty Cowell. Amani. Libby Otto.
I'm here.
Alex Serrano. Kate McAllen.
Here.
Colleen Shower.
Here.
Kenan Yu. Kenny. Kyle Evans. Here. Ali Sabella. And then
Jenny's here too.
Jenny just walked.
Executive reports. Resolutions.
Alright, so two major things for me to talk about, I guess. I was trying to remember, these are the most important. I guess these are two events coming up at the end of the month. Since the beginning of the year, myself, Corbin, Dean Sickford, and Associate Provost Reynolds have been working on a project where we hope to go out to different groups around campus and try and listen to their problems and give them a chance to interact with administration and the two of us to kind of figure out some solutions to those problems. And we're going to be having our first meeting on the 25th of November. We are inviting people to that meeting, so it's a closed meeting, and that's inspired by sort of what I would consider sort of the downside of the provost meetings last year when it kind of just got out of hand, so we're trying to avoid that. But I just announced it because I think it's important for people to know what's going on. The other thing, the next day in GA, the 26th of November, we're going to be hosting a conversation around diversity and some of the changes in diversity policy that are happening around campus. So that's specifically with some of the programs that have shifted from the Hedman Center to the Office of Multicultural and Diversity Initiatives. And we're going to be bringing in a lot of the relevant actors with regard to that issue. And having the provost is confirmed to be here that day. And then all of the members of the Diversity Initiative Standing Committee will be here in attendance too. Not confirmed yet, but that's what we're hoping for. And so that, we hope, will be a really good way of sort of using GA as a forum for a really important issue going on campus.
And
I have nothing for the report. Greg is out. So we can listen.
This week I met with RHA to discuss possible bylaw changes again. I also met with Wendy to clarify the position and talk to Stephen about how much money to give them so that possibly adjust the bylaws or amend the bylaws to have some research to go along with it. CAC has created attendance bylaw amendments that will be presented later today, and they're still working on the election packet.
Miko.
I have yet again rescheduled a meeting with one of my relations, like I said that every week. But it should be the last week of November is where we're going to meet. And then I am also attending the Tobacco Use Task Force meeting this Thursday at 11:30. We'll be talking about what HUSC been up to.
Trigger what?
I thought about it.
Okay.
I was asked to give a presentation about reimbursement and stuff like that at the next Multicultural Alliance meeting, which is Monday, November 11th. So I will be doing that. And other than that, just, I don't want to go into detail about things I've paid for, so thank you for it.
My committee will be meeting tonight at 8:30, and we'll just going over the final details for the all-org meeting, November 10th at 4:30 in Manor Lounge. Food will be provided, and everybody's welcome to come. I'm also starting a new point system. We'll give orgs a chance to win money for the orgs. More details will be shared at the all-org meeting, so if you're interested, please come. And I'm also looking for 2 at-large reps, so please, if you have any questions about that.
Jeremiah.
Just quick things to report. First, representative retreat is this Thursday in Class Ballroom at 7:30 p.m. Secondly, I had an interview with one of the reporters from the Oracle, so about upcoming capital improvements. They wanted to know exactly what's going on from the standpoint. So I told them what's going on, what representatives are doing what, and what different ideas that we've been bouncing around with. And third, there will be a capital improvement form online on the HUSC website available within this week. So look forward to that and report.
I have no updates on some of the kids at this time.
Senate County Board. Well, Wendy is not here and Alan is out of town, so we'll go right into unfinished business.
Okay, we'll start with the university-wide. Okay, so PAC approved everything. This is from was it 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, the president and the PAC changing around so that the president now tells people what committee they're going to be on or proposes that. We've approved everything, but we decided to not strike the subdivision 4 to meet before the start of the school year with the Commitment to Community program to jointly select a standing executive board member to serve as a standing member of the program. We want to keep that as we're still doing research about that. Representative Otto and Hallie are going to be talking with them and seeing what the relationship has been in the past. They still want to continue that. So we will further discuss that once we have that research and then possibly propose another amendment regarding that. But everything else PAC has had their stamp of approval. Do you want me to go through it again? Is it kind of fresh in everyone's memory? Okay. So we're striking subdivision 3, the first part, to appoint the HUSC officers and cabinet members. So we're going to have to make the following appointments, each subject to a majority approval of the Student Congress. The HUSC officers and cabinet members, 1 HUSC member to serve on the MAPSIS representative as a MAPSIS representative, student body representatives to all university-wide committees, and then act as a student body representative to the following: the University Board of Trustees, MAPSIS delegation, and the Campus Planning Committee. And we're changing to meet with the undergraduate administration, sub-administration of the CLA. Here we're just basically, this is the Political Affairs Committee. We're striking to act as a liaison between the student and faculty committees. So I wouldn't make the appointments anymore, and instead I would just recommend all students to all HUSC standing committees and 1 HUSC member to the MAPSIS delegation.
Questions? Discussion?
I have a motion to vote on this proposed bylaw amendment.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Excellent. Resolution passes. Okay, moderation.
So our second one is the attendance that PAC has reviewed. Should I start with the
Let's go with the resolution.
Okay, so the resolution. Whereas attendance is important to the functions of HUSC, and whereas the current bylaw regarding attendance is vague and unclear, and having an updated bylaw regarding attendance is a responsible act, and that bylaw 7.02 attendance requirements be updated so that HUSC members that have 4 unexcused absences in an academic year have their membership revoked, and be it further resolved, the General Assembly vote on this resolution. So then there's another step. So if this gets approved, therefore be it resolved that the new attendance bylaw requirement begins on November 12, 2013, so that's the next GA that we'd be voting on. And then be it further resolved that all past attendance be expunged previous to that GA, so November 12. So that's the resolution. Now this is going to look kind of scary because there's a lot of red, but if you look in our bylaws, it's very unorganized, and so we kind of just move things around. So like this subdivision was actually down here, so we moved it up because it's any council member. So basically it says any council member as defined by the Constitution, so that's all of us, who has a total of 4 unexcused absences from meetings including General Assembly, Board of Elected Representatives, and their HUSC Standing Committee. An academic year will be subject to immediate dismissal from the council. These dismissals shall be announced by the secretary in the secretary's reports during regular council meetings, and a letter shall be sent to each dismissed council member's mailbox from the council. Notification will also be sent prior to the General Assembly meeting to all executive members from the Political Affairs Committee Chair. Upon dismissal, a council member may appeal to the Political Affairs Committee within 2 regularly scheduled PAC meetings or a time frame at PAC's discretion not less than 2 weeks if extenuating circumstances are involved. The Political Affairs Committee recommends reinstatement of the council member. A majority of the Student Congress Council must vote approval. And then like Article 1, that the chair of any meeting as defined by the Constitution or these bylaws will have the ability to excuse any absence as they see fit. The only thing that we changed from this, even though it's all red, is who has a total of 4 unexcused absences from meetings including General Assembly, Board of Elected Representatives, and the House Standing Committee in an academic year. So then, Subdivision 2, which was Subdivision 1, all chartered organizations are required to attend the semesterly Student Organization Committee caucus meeting. Organizations whose representatives miss the caucus are subject to being placed on probationary charter at the discretion of PAC. Subdivision 3, which was originally part of Subdivision 2, organizations chosen to have at-large roll call representatives must attend all Student Congress meetings. Any representative who has a total of 4 unexcused absences from meetings, including General Assembly, Board of Elected Representatives, and the Student Organization Committee during each academic year will be subject to immediate dismissal from the Congress. These dismissals shall be announced by the Secretary in the Secretary's reports during regular council meetings and a letter. And then upon dismissal, the representative may appeal to PAC if the similar circumstances are involved. PAC recommends reinstatement of the representative. The majority of the Student Congress Council must vote approval. If reinstatement is not approved, the organization loses its roll call vote. Then Article 1 says that the chair of any meeting as defined by the Constitution or these bylaws will have the ability to excuse any absence as they see fit. If for any reason an organization selected to have an at-large roll call representative should lose its full charter status, that representative shall not remain on the council. The SAC shall be responsible for filling the vacant spot. Organizations seeking to fill the vacant spot shall present themselves to SAC. So Article 1 and Article 2 were not changed. They're just kind of reorganized with it. So it looks like a lot was changed, but all we really changed was the organization of it and the 4 unexcused absences in an academic year. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just to clarify, this will be sent out to everyone so they can look it over more closely. Right?
Thanks. Any other questions?
Do we have to motion to approve this? Okay.
Motion.
Yeah, that was already.
A motion to table this until the following year.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Wonderful, table. Wendy, do you have anything to report? So we have no new business, so So let's get right to today's discussion. We've invited MPERG in to come talk about the survey.
Do you want us to come down?
Yeah, come on down.
Okay. I'm Andrea. This is Lizzie. We're the co-chairs of MPERG here on campus, and this is Erin. She's our campus organizer. This year we are doing our fee survey like every 2 to 3 years, and we've been here 3 years. We do a survey just to make sure that students are still in support of MPERG's work. So that falls on this year. We're talking with Dean Sickbert right now about how exactly that will go down, and he's putting together a survey council committee, yeah, to work on exactly how the survey will be sent out and how that'll work out with that. It's generally just a bunch of questions asking like if you support MPERG's work and if you think we should still be funded. We don't have a whole lot of information on it quite yet because the committee has not yet met, I don't believe. He's contacting students right now and other faculty and staff members to be on the committee.
We can talk a little bit about how it went. Last time they did the survey, they ended up doing it, they decided the fee committee decided to do it in person. So I think it ended up just being MPERGers, but it didn't have to be who stood in certain places on campus at certain times, and that were determined by the fee committee and stopped every 4th person and asked, do you support MPERG's work? Do you support MPERG being funded by this part fee? And I think we got over 80% support. I'm not sure if that's how it'll be done this year, but that's how it's been done. Every 4 years. Every 3 years? Yep. Any questions?
Who would like to start? Yes.
When a students will probably ask what MPERG does, like what are examples of the work, so will there be people there to answer those kind of questions?
I know that last year, because it was MPERGers doing the survey, that we weren't like kind of allowed to talk very much about what MPERG was doing because then it could seem kind of biased, like, yeah, we're awesome, you should vote yes, you know, that kind of thing. So I think I know that every year an email goes out through Dean Sickbert's office to notify students of the work that we do and also to let them know that they can get their fee refunded. That email will go out again this year. And I would imagine that we would do some sort of like letter to the Oracle or some other information about like what MPERG does around campus so that people are more aware of what kind of work we do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
What other questions do we have? Lucas?
I have a question. I'm wondering if any of you would think it would be a good idea when the survey is being administered to have people who aren't involved in the organization doing the survey. Maybe there would be, I'm not saying that it would be biased in any way, but that would be like a very good way of controlling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it seems, I'm not sure why I wasn't here during the last survey year, so I'm not actually sure why. I mean, none of us were actually here, so we're not really sure why MPERG students were used for that.
My understanding is that they just wanted, like, I know Dean Sickbert has talked about maybe asking a statistics class to do it, to perform it, and I think that, my understanding of their items was that they decided to do it in person and then no one really stepped up to do it, and so MPERG was like, well, it has to happen, and so their students and staff were the ones who performed it. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but I agree that that's probably a good idea. There's also a possibility that we'll go out by email this year, so it'll be kind of whatever the committee decides. And I think there's a HUSC representative who's supposed to be there.
I know there's the Issues and Actions conference that you guys usually attend in April, and select exactly what issues/campaigns that you'd like to do. So what is it exactly for this year? Because I'm guessing the last conference that you guys went to was the previous April to select the campaign for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's actually quite a few of them. I actually was not able to attend that meeting, so
We chose one 3-year campaign, which was higher education and working with like, student debt and stuff. So
there's that, and then there was 6 one-year campaigns that we talked about on campus, and gender-neutral bathrooms, and consent culture, and there's a couple other ones too. I don't know what they are though.
One was about like repurposing buildings. What are the other ones? Those are the statewide ones that there's statewide work agrees on, and then so we bring those to campus and then work on some of them, whichever ones family students are interested in, and then we also so we're working on some other stuff too that we're just subdivisions and actions so that new ideas that all students have. I think there's affordable higher ed, an environomics campaign, which is just like green projects that make economic sense, and then there's one more. But we can tell you, do you guys want to talk about what we're doing here on the Hamline campus?
We have 2 task forces. There's a social justice task force and an environmental task force. The social justice task force right now is trying to get like sharps or needle bins on campus for those who have to do like injections for something like diabetes. We're also talking to see if students, faculty, and staff are interested in having an on-campus daycare in the future. And we've also been talking about doing volunteer work at the Simpsons Homeless Shelter and doing either a food or clothing drive this semester.
Yeah, the environmental task force right now is working on composting at Anderson, so we're getting bins in the bistro area so that we can better utilize like the food scraps that we have. So instead of throwing those away, they're going to be composted. We're also working. Last weekend we actually just did a Lake Como cleanup. So we took some 10 kids out and did a cleanup out there. And then we're also just working on like some educational material stuff for the Meatless Mondays and like ways you can get protein without eating meat and things like that. So we're working with Ken Dekis and Meredith and a little bit with Dean Sickford on this.
What was the first task?
Social justice.
Any other questions? So anything else anyone would like to bring up for discussion? Perhaps the representatives who had town hall meetings?
I just got my hand straight as you were asking, but I just wanted to say that if there's any initiatives that you are trying as an organization to sort of gain support for on campus, I would encourage you to come to us and at least like let us know, because if it's something that we would decide as an organization to support, I think it would be we'd have a lot stronger voice. So like for example, the Meatless Monday I didn't hear about until the beginning of this year. So things like that in the future I think would be good, like to involve as many groups as possible.
Yeah, are there any representatives that would like to talk about anything that they was brought up during the town hall meetings?
I have to get my notes.
So there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the general gist of it was, well, let's start out. 7 people showed up between the 2 meetings. First I visited Dan's meeting, and then after that was over, Dan and Kyle's meeting. Sorry, didn't want to exclude you. Yeah, so we had our meeting on the 3rd floor of Anderson. Some people showed up for the actual first. What happened was I ended up changing the time, so people got confused. So I just stayed there for both times in case people showed up whenever. But yeah, people showed up to the first session, and then Heights Hall Council had their meeting during my meeting too. So I just stayed, and we had like a combined Hall Council / first year meeting. But yeah, we had a good time. Talked about the first year program. There were mostly good opinions. It matched most of what the MathWorks survey said, how it's convenient and it's nice to, as first years, not worry about buying your books. But then there's the other side of if you can find your books cheaper, it's kind of a pain to have to pay it. What else was there? Oh, we talked about commuter committee stuff. That was brought up, getting the commuter committee up and running. Do you remember anything else that I missed?
It was like programs.
programs. I think that's, yeah. And I do plan on meeting with someone from Hall Council that isn't law about grocery bingo. That was brought up to me by someone. They said it'd be cool to have grocery, like food as the prize instead of like other stuff. But that gets a little complicated, so yeah. That's it.
Anybody else?
Well, the sophomores, we had our class meeting or town hall yesterday, but no one showed up, so we just thought we would report that we went there, but there was no one waiting for us, so we have nothing to report.
We'll do them next time.
That's good. We want to open it up. If anyone has like any ideas to share of how we can make these have better attendance in the future. That's there.
Alyssa?
Like the Facebook page or the HUSC website, I don't think it was on either, from when I was talking to our representatives. So I think advertising it at least via social media sites.
Rachel?
Please email me next time you have these. I'll definitely put it on the Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram. If it's far enough in advance, I'm not opposed to like making posters or working with you to help create your own if you want that kind of promotion as well. Cover me.
So I got my notes. Well, part of what we talked about was the smoking ban committee stuff came up, and they said that the general consensus was that it didn't seem like an outright ban would be what was wanted, but kind of more enforcement, focusing on what you were already talking about, getting someone from safety and security on the committee and talking to them about how they would enforce the current smoking rules. And some other more specific stuff that I don't need to bring up at GA. Thanks.
Anything else? Alright. So we'll go over the announcements. The only one official announcements that I have is that GA next week is going to be in Anderson on the 12th. Please show up. I won't actually be there for that one. Lucas will be presiding over that particular meeting.
I thought it was the 19th. You're not going to be there.
I thought it was the 12th. I have to double check. Oh God, life is hard. Anyways, and Libby.
Oh, I just have other announcements. You can finish.
No, that was it.
Oh, that was it? Okay. I have two announcements. The senior class will be holding our town hall meeting on Monday, November 18th. And I can email you, Rachel. My other announcement is tonight, Fusion is hosting Soon We Chomit in Sunday Music Hall. HUSC granted us a contingency form. This is a fantastic opportunity for HUSC members to be seen, not only through the Hamline community, but through our surrounding ACTC schools and our outside community. Right now, we have a projected 200 people showing up. It would be fantastic if the majority of us could also be in the audience. The doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7 o'clock. It's free for Hamline students. Her tickets at the Guthrie were between $30 and $40, so it's free for Hamline students. Outside community members are asked for a $5 to $10 donation, but they can give what they can, obviously. So please come. Again, doors at 6:30, show at 7 o'clock. If you have questions, please come and find me, or you can post them on Facebook. I'll be checking that regularly today.
Jenny.
So just to let you guys know, I've been talking to Laura. She's the president of Veterans Affairs organization, and she is starting the toy drive. And she's asked all ours to participate, and as HUSC, I also wanted to contribute. So we're having a toy drive to help the veterans organization. So if you ever have toys, or they're gonna be for needy kids. So if you ever want to bring them to HUSC, I'll bring a box starting next week, or you can drop it off at the office just so we can help orgs around campus.
Other announcements?
Students of South Asia has their Night in South Asia this Thursday. It's from about 6 to I think 8:30. There'll be music, movies, food, henna, artists, and so if you have some time, stop in Anderson.
Anything else? Okay. Actually, it's wrong. I will be at the 12th for GA. It's the 19th. I won't be there. And Alyssa, don't forget your dump drive.
Thanks.
Don't forget your jump drive.
Thanks.
Is there a motion on the table?
Motion to adjourn meeting.
All opposed? Apparently Steven really doesn't want to.
What?
Let's go.